It is appropriate for the governor to tender his resignation at this time. Clearly, it has in part related to the Supreme Court that appropriately said the legislature had the right to ask questions and to get answers. It is sad that a capable leader made the kinds of mistakes, the self-inflicted wounds that result in the need for him to resign. I'm very pleased to say to the state, Jody Rell will be a great leader for the state of Connecticut, and the people are in good hands. And I'm actually out of breath for the day to run up 2 flights of stairs.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask
No, it's out of breath. Just give me
a second.
Somebody got a long question they can ask?
Well, let's see now.
Have you been invited to the governor's mansion this evening?
No, I have not.
Bob, do you think that this is a better way for this to be resolved rather than having this go through, fill out the impeachment process to accomplish the same goal?
Yes, I do. I think the resignation is better. The committee has done a tremendous job of ferreting out the facts, holding the public hearings, and standing strong for the public's right to know. But I think the public would be better served to bring this to a swift end, to put Jody Rell in office to lead our state forward.
If the governor hangs on until July, should the transfer be sooner? I mean, the reports say he may hang on until July 1st. So does that create any problems?
Again, I don't know what the real effective date will be. It probably allows a simple transition. I don't think the date is that critical as long as everyone knows it will happen. That gives Jody the opportunity to go forward. So the date's not critical to me.
Do you think the governor would have been resigned had he not, would have been impeached had he not resigned?
If he did not provide a public, honest explanation for all the facts that were revealed, then an impeachment was likely.
You said you feel that Jody will fill in here well, but she is someone who really hasn't had to tackle anything as big as this before. Why are you so confident?
I served with her 10 years in the House of Representatives and know the kind of person that she is. I know what her values are, and I know the kind of leader she was as a state representative. And I have watched her for the last decade as lieutenant governor and the way she relates to people. And as a result of that 20 years of knowledge of Jody Rell, the person, I have every confidence in Jody Rell, the governor.
Bob, where did you first hear about this? How did you hear about it?
A phone call to my business office this morning from my chief of staff who had heard a news report.
All right, now, what went through your head when you heard this? What were you thinking?
I was a bit surprised, certainly at least as to the timing, because I thought the public hearings would go forward today, and I knew the governor had to make a tough decision the next day or two. I just didn't think it would be today.
The committee didn't seem interested in making him appear here. They really weren't going to press the issue despite Friday. You seemed to think Friday meant something to the governor.
Oh, absolutely, because if he had a choice to either appear or have the committee make the appropriate inference of his failure to answer questions, or consider even impeachment just for obstructing by not appearing. The committee was absolutely right. The public would not want to see, nor would I, you don't have a marshal take a governor into custody to talk and answer questions that wouldn't make him answer anyway. So they were right to pursue the subpoena because the public had a right to know. But beyond that, to actually physically bring the governor in wouldn't have made any sense.
Do you see problems going forward with a Republican governor and a Democratic lieutenant governor? Does that do anything odd to the mix?
No, I think we'll move forward fine. Probably means I think Jody Rell will be in the state virtually all the time anyway, but I don't think there'll be conflicts between the governor, lieutenant governor. I mean, the power is in the chief executive and the governor, not in the office of lieutenant governor.
Bob, some of the Democrats are saying that the best thing Jody Rell can do is clean house, to basically get rid of everyone who's in the Rowland administration, to restore public trust. Do you see a need for that? I
think she needs to bring in a whole new team. Does that mean that every single commissioner? Probably not, or every single deputy commissioner. I'm not going to start to name names, but certainly there are agencies that are not political in any way. Does the Department of Mental Retardation need a change? Does that have anything to do with this? I doubt it.
Representative Ward, this maybe absolves one potential problem for the governor, but you're a lawyer. Do you see him facing further legal problems down the road?
I always felt that it was right for the legislature to go forward with its investigation, The United States Attorney is independent, and they can make their own judgment. So I have no idea where they're going with that. I really thought they were unrelated, and I'm not going to make any predictions. We're not privy to their investigation.
What does this do for the Republican Party now? You all have to run this fall. Is this a bit of a break for Republicans who have to run this year?
Look, I think the public viewed Governor Rowland's failings as individual, not as failings as a Republican, and it wasn't about partisan politics. The impeachment inquiry wasn't about partisan politics. I never thought it would affect elections very much. I continue to think it will not, but my belief is it completely takes it off the table, and state legislative races will be decided by the individuals running.
What's your biggest disappointment in the governor as you stand here today and take questions and explain what's going to happen in the future?
Well, clearly his personal behavior of accepting substantial gifts from people who in one manner or another were related to state government. And it was repeated and substantial. And the disappointment is because he's been otherwise a very effective leader and reformed welfare, rebuilt the University of Connecticut campus, as well as the CSU system. I continue to be a Republican that believes in Adrian's Landing, and that was a vision of his. He did control spending as best you can with a Democrat-dominated General Assembly. We cut taxes early in his term. So he had a lot of positive things going as a charismatic, effective leader, and it's really very sad that his personal failings undermined his political leadership.
What will he be remembered more for? Impeachment and resignation, or for the list of that he just picked us?
History will judge that, and it's too soon to say. I think he'll be known for both things.
Bob, can I ask you what your status is with going over to the residence tonight? Were you invited? Are you going to go?
I did not receive any invitation to that, so
It seems like you and a couple of the other Senate Republicans.
I'm not aware that I've received any invitation to that.
Bob, what do you think tipped the scales for him? I mean, he resisted resigning so long. What do you think tipped the scales?
I would have to assume, based on the timing, that the Supreme Court decision that he did not have the right to not answer questions of the committee would seem to have been the final aspect in his making his decision.
Bob, at this point, are you feeling more a sense of sadness or more a sense of relief that it's over?
I have a personal sense of sadness about it. I guess from the point of view of the public, it's relief that there's a conclusion to it, and that's what I think the public wanted. But certainly as somebody who's served as a Republican leader for all of the time the governor has been in office as our governor, there's a personal sense of sadness.
And a while back, you were expressing anger at the governor. Has that abated, or do you take some of that into today?
I certainly tried not generally to express anger. I was upset that he wasn't answering public questions when he was saying, I just need a chance to have my say, and then didn't ever answer those questions. But we shouldn't make decisions based on anger, and I don't feel angry.
When you're talking about personal failings of the governor, is this an office that actually can there are a lot of temptations that go in that the governor can actually, I guess, bow to. Can you say more about the personal failings? I mean, what you saw, what you...
All I'm really saying is based on the evidence before us, he made significant errors in judgment of accepting gifts that ought not to be accepted by a high-ranking public official, or probably by any public official.
Mr. Warren, again, I'm sorry, your first reaction to this news today. Jennifer Jordan, the BCBS.
Initially, I was surprised. I didn't anticipate this morning. I took the governor at his word that I thought he would stick it through a vote of the impeachment panel itself. So my assumption is that it had a lot to do with the fact that he was going to be required to testify. Again, there's a sense of sadness that an effective leader, because of his own self-inflicted wounds, cannot continue to be an effective leader, but a sense that it's appropriate for the governor to resign based on everything we know today.
Do you think there was enough evidence from what you'd heard to impeach him?
In the absence of any explanation for the governor to fill in any of the gaps, one would have to make some negative presumptions, and then that would have been enough. I was avoiding coming to those conclusions because I wanted to see all of the evidence in before reaching a conclusion.